Hi guys, welcome back. Today I'm filming from the back room of the shop. You see, that's the store that I work at. This is some of our understock. You see that? That's just some of it. Of the decks. Anyway, today I wanted to do a brief walkthrough of a brand new Oracle deck. I had fallen in love with this artist when her tarot deck came out in 2016, simply because it was a little different. Actually, it was a lot different. The palette was very clean, almost sparse, and yet I felt it was very engaging. She is a painter, I want to say a well-renowned painter, and she created this deck, I guess, to enhance her passion. Now, most of us are familiar with this deck already, and it's called the Line Strider. This is the guidebook, and I know that some people may have had an issue connecting with the deck because it can be quite sparse. Let's see if I can get it. The cards don't have a lot of things going on. You really do have to pull and trust your intuition. I wish I can get a better focus of that. Your Eight of Wands. Let's take a look at that. You know, we have a deer being shot by arrows. We have Temperance here. And for a lot of people, this was not a deck that they resonated with so well, simply because the imagery was sparse. It didn't deliver as many intuitive hits as they had expected. Can't English today. But I loved it simply for that reason. I feel as though it was a palette cleanser. After dealing with so many decks that have a lot of imagery, it's good to go back to something that's really very simple. Sometimes that's why I revert all the way back to playing cards. Now, Siolo Thompson, the creator of this tarot deck, she also created a Lenormand deck. And I'm going to talk about Lenormand in one of my next videos, but I don't know if you can see that there. Let's see if I can hold this. Okay, so her Lenormand deck is kept with the same sort of artistry. Again, it's very simple, and yet I thought that, I do still think that a lot of the imagery is very poignant. It's very clean, without a lot of fluff and distractions around it. Now, you know, with the Lenormand, of course, it's easier to read, I think, than most tarot decks without all of that, because as Kelly would say, a ship is a ship is a ship, a dog is a dog is a dog. So again, with the Line Strider, you see it there? I'm going to have to go on this side. You see how sparse some of the imagery? There we go, that's better. I'm going to have to get a better setup. The imagery is, I think that's a fantastic, whoops, King of Pentacles. The Lovers. Look at that Lovers card. Now, maybe one of the complaints that people may have had in regards to this deck was that the guidebook was not in color. You can see there. Okay. Decent sized guidebook. You know, I love a good book with a lot of information. And in this, she also had the astrological correspondences, numerological correspondences, as well as botanical, plant life correspondences to the cards. Well, the Line Strider has since been reprinted, and the book is in full color now. I'm not going to buy this deck a second time. So when I heard about a new Oracle deck that Siolo Thompson was coming out with, I was impatiently harassing my distributors and telling them they need to get this to me as soon as possible because it was just something I was really curious about. And so I do have it now. I am the proud owner of this deck, and it's called the Hedgewitch Botanical Oracle. I'm going to put on my glasses because we know the drill. And it's put out by Llewellyn. Now, Siolo Thompson, I want to say 2 or 3 years ago, she actually did have a smaller botanical oracle deck that was available on her site, and of course it has since sold out. And then of course, you know, Llewellyn comes into a lot of our independent artists and signs them on. They did that for the mystical manga deck. They did that with Fabio Lestrani. Ron is the creator of the mystical, or the illustrator of the mystical manga deck. Fabio Lestrani, he is the illustrator and creator of the Night Sun and the Santa Muerte deck. And so Llewellyn comes in and I guess supports these artists to go ahead. I feel like they have creative license to go ahead and fill out the deck even more to make it more commercial without losing some of the artistic flavor that most of us like. So Siolo got on board, I guess, with Llewellyn and fleshed out this oracle deck. I don't remember how many cards were in the original deck. I want to say maybe 20, 25. I'll have to check that. But this deck comes with 40 cards. Okay, so as I said, Llewellyn is putting a lot of effort into creating their keepsake boxes. Typical Llewellyn box, magnetic flap. Okay. Of course, on the inside, we have the guidebook and the illustration. And that is an illustration of the card called Enhance. And I'm going to get to the meanings of the cards in just a minute. Okay. Then, of course, within the box, you have the cards and a ribbon for easy removal. And you have that cardboard piece, which, believe it or not, can come out. So, well, most of you know this, that it can come out. So I'm going to remove this and use it as a box to keep. I think I can get all 3 of my decks in this box. If not, I think these boxes make excellent gift boxes for the holidays. Just something to keep in mind. So we've got a wonderful guidebook here. And the guidebook is in color. And on the cover of the guidebook, that particular blossom is called daylily. And that keyword is ephemeral. I'll go on further. So the guidebook is, let's see, 186 pages. And it says on the back of it, discover how to draw wisdom from the mystical realms of plant and spirit. This book shows how to use the Hedgewitch Botanical Oracle, a lovely deck created by artist Siolo Thompson's unique sense of gentle beauty, including the names, oracle properties, and symbolic meanings of the featured plants. The Hedgewitch's Field Guide is an essential resource for working with these powerful cards. Whether you're seeking a focal point for meditation or answers to specific questions, this guide will help you utilize your intuition as you explore the boundary lands between this world and the ethereal plane. And of course, you know, we have a little bit here about Siolo, who she is, what she did, where she lives, and her website address. This is a gorgeous guidebook. And if you get this deck, this is one guidebook you want to keep on your shelf. Why? It contains the breakdown of plants. Let's see this one right here. This is Calendula Marigold. Different parts of the plants. She gives you other names of the plants or what it's known by. Let's see. Marigold, pot marigold, Mary's gold, jackanapes on a horseback, ruddles, common marigold, Scotch marigold, the oracle property to brighten. The book also contains recipes. This is a recipe using borage. I could say borage. Some people might say borage. Keyword is courage. It's known by starflower, bugloss, viper's bugloss, barajo, barak, man of courage. And it has a lot of different things that you can use this book for. She talks about wildcrafting as well in the front of the book. Let's see. Here she says, in regards to bayberry, she gives you an idea of what, when you're out in the wild, what the plant should look like. So she also says that these botanical cards can be used as an oracle deck or as flashcards with this book as a study guide. My hope is that the illustrations will help the user learn to identify these plants on sight by blossom, leaf shape, and fruit. The book endeavors to help the curious learn about these essential plants and their historical applications. This text discusses where to find the plants, what part of the plant is commonly used, and whether they are primarily edible or medicinal. I also love to cook, so a few of my favorite recipes are included along with some anecdotal and folkloric information I hope the reader finds as interesting as I do. So, I mean, if nothing else, this is like a little cookbook. It's a guidebook when you're out wildcrafting. She has an in-depth bibliography. She names Culpeper, Nicholas Culpeper. You know, no herbal reference book is complete without Culpeper being referred to. Things to make in spring, for those of you who follow the Wheel of the Year. Things to make in spring, chamomile cooler, things to make in summer, different drinks and such. So let's go on to the cards. So as I said, on the cover of the book, we have a plant here. And this is the daylily. And its keyword is ephemeral. Ephemeral. Okay. The book is arranged in alphabetical order. So we can look that up. It's in alphabetical order by the book is in alphabetical order by the botanical name, its common name. So you will find daylily, of course, under D's. You have to know that. She tells you the name, the genus name. In folklore, pregnant women wear daylilies around their waist to encourage the birth of a male child. She goes on to explain the toxicity of the lily and then how to identify it as well. Let's see. She says that, now I'm trying to understand how this particular card would be used in meditation. The oracle word for this plant is ephemeral, inspired by the fact that each daylily blossom only lives for a single day, reminding us of the temporary nature of everything in life. It can be very helpful in times of difficulty to remember that everything is fleeting. Some daylilies blossom at night, a metaphor for beauty born in moments of darkness. So I like that. Also, so that's on the cover of the guidebook. And then on the cover of the box here, she has a plant called Dogwood. Let's see. See that there? And the key word is defend. I'll put that there. I really got to do something, work on the lighting where I am. Okay, so for Dogwood, and then, it's warm back here. Defend. She talks about how it is. It's the fruit of it is sweet, tart, high in vitamin C. In many parts of the world, it's consumed regularly and are recommended as a cold and flu remedy. The bark of the tree is also used to make tonics and astringents for various medicinal purposes. And dogwood twigs can be used to clean your teeth in lieu of a toothbrush. Of course, the oracle property is defend, and it historically been the wood of choice for making dags, pointed weapons such as daggers, stakes, and arrows. While we would like to move through life without confrontations, sometimes we must make a stand and fight for ourselves, our principles, or those whom we care about. Compromise and diplomacy have their places, but there are times when one must fight. In writing this, I'm also reminded of slings and arrows, a phrase from Hamlet that speaks of personal, specifically verbal attacks. Are you feeling under siege, maligned, or attacked? And then she goes on. It has, let's see, am I in Dogwood now? No, I'm back in Daylily. We have as I said, the scientific name, the other names it's known by, and then there are some cards that kind of sort of have a connection to the tarot, but she refers to or defers to the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck. Now, I know in her line strider she had botanical references for the cards, but these cards do not tie in with her references in her line strider. I read through here the other day, I should have marked it, where she talked about a particular card. Let's see, if I'm not sure if I can find it, but she talks about fern, which indicates growth, right? And she refers to fern. This is how she refers to the tarot cards in this book. Ferns find a way to grow no matter what conditions they face, inspiring the oracle property growth. It's not always easy. Sometimes we would like to remain with what is safe and known, but stagnation does not tend to lead to happiness and success. How can you push yourself? What adversity are you facing that could lead to new paths and ways of thinking? This oracle property is much like the death card in the tarot deck. Though it often gives people a fright, its message is very much about the kind of change that leads to growth. So if I can find the death card in my line strider deck, as a matter of fact, I'll just go ahead into the book that I have here and see what she says about the death card. Devil, death. So the death card, of course, it's not in color, but on the card it would be in color. It's a skull. And she says that number 13, associated plants are elderflower, blackberry, and periwinkle. Not the card that I pulled, not this particular card in here, fern. Okay, that's not listed. So the two decks, why they are compatible, they don't necessarily overlap. I just feel like the oracle deck enhances what she already has in the tarot deck. So The cardstock is actually a little bit different from the Line Strider as well, at least from the old copy of the Line Strider deck that I have. This was from the Line Strider Tarot deck, and the cards are a little bit thicker. A little bit thicker. I actually like this thickness better. Now, maybe in the reprinted deck, it might be back to what we call the typical Llewellyn, which is a little bit thinner, because these cards are really, really thin. Not paper thin, almost cardstock thin. Semi-glossy. Let me see if I can get this. Semi-glossy. Is this good lighting here? Maybe I should try to hold it this way. I'm trying to get this the right light. The glare. It's late here. Here we are. Semi-glossy. The back image is one of those are dandelions back there. Let's see, take a look. So for Bearberry, Strength, Resourcefulness, Huckleberry, Cohosh, Repel. So those of you who have herbal books, it would be good, I think, to invest in this deck and then work in tandem with a lot of those herbal books. I know I have several Native American herbal books myself that I'm going to be working with, tapping into the energy of these beautiful botanicals. You know, I was looking for a particular deck, something to go a little bit deeper into the meaning and how to use them. I do love this deck. This is a store copy. I have my copy at home. But it is for botanical. It's, you know, it's inspirational in that sense. This deck, I feel, the Hedgewitch's Oracle deck, the Hedgewitch Botanical Oracle, I feel is a working deck. So one of the things I want to do, just out of curiosity, I'm going to take a shuffle and see what message comes up for us. I've had a very, very, very long day at work today. Very, very long day. So let's see. What message? I'm just going to ask. Let's see. What message? What information? What do we need to know? What energy should we tap into? Maybe there's something I need to add to my diet. Who knows? Let's see. We have Wormwood for caution. Let's see. Can you see that? I'm really going to have to work on the lighting. I get it closer. Oh, there we go. Caution. And then I have Chicory for sustain. And at the very top, Hollyhock for abundance. Let's see. So you have to remember, in regards to the guidebook, that it is in order of the name of the plant, not by the keyword. I know it's tempting to look up the keyword, let's say abundance, under A. You won't find it there. So you go to hollyhock, mallow, althea. Let's see. Oh, in the Victorian language of flowers, hollyhocks are associated with fecundity and the bonds of love, much like the Empress or the Queen of Pentacles from the Tarot. The hollyhock is traditionally planted in a witch's garden to bring abundance and fecundity. Who uses that word? And is strongly related to the pagan holiday Lammas, and that's coming up 2 clicks on the wheel of the year, right? Which celebrates harvest season and expresses gratitude to nature for her generous gifts. Embracing abundance isn't an exercise in accumulation, but rather a willingness to live gratefully and with open arms. Like the hollyhock, we may find our place in the garden by being a blessing to others. Accept the things you have in your life rather than focusing on the things that you don't. Look at the many ways you can be of service to your community. Wow. Living with gratitude and open arms will attract others to you and provide opportunities for others to see your value. That's hollyhock. And the message for chicory, sustain. And under chicory, I'm just reading briefly. I'm just going through briefly. Let's see. Chicory coffee is known to most Americans as a regional beverage found in New Orleans. And if you're lucky, served alongside fresh hot beignets or beignets. It was a popular beverage in France as well, and its use became quite widespread during wartime when it was mixed with dwindling supplies of coffee. Let me see. The young roots are also delicious when boiled. When prepared with butter, they have a flavor that is much like parsnip. You can find chicory on vacant land, fallow fields, and by roadsides. Chicory is easily recognized by its woody, tough stems festooned with bright blue flowers about the size and shape of a dandelion. Although humans use this plant as a drink and occasional food source, it is extremely valuable as animal fodder to supplement the diet of livestock, especially during the times of year when it's hard to grow other grazing crops. The oracle speaks of sustain to the usefulness and the availability of chicory during difficult times. Cows, horses, sheep, rabbits, and even poultry field fowl take important nutrients from this plant. Chicory is an example of how one organism can sustain others. So I like to think of it in relation to a person's role in the community. You may not always have the best skill set, the right answer, or resources to share, but we can all contribute and support those around us. Sometimes that just means being there in a difficult moment, listening, moving furniture, or simply holding space for others. Do what you can to sustain others, and you will find others will do the same for you. The Six of Pentacles in a tarot deck speaks to charity, community giving, and the need to sustain one another. You may find yourself on the giving or receiving end of this equation, so try to handle either position with grace. And then we have Wormwood for caution. And for Wormwood, I'm going to make this real quick. It talks about using caution. It repels pests and wards off all sorts of ailments, but it's also toxic in some quantities. Caution can save your life or keep you out of sticky situations. Fear or anxiety can also be toxic. Many situations require prudence and a look before you leap attitude. If you are seeing this in an oracle context, ask yourself what areas of your life may need further examination or investigation. Channel the Queen of Swords with her clear sight and ability to cut through deception and confusion. The Knight of Pentacles provides a different perspective, speaking of caution as an operating system. Here is a knight that never charges in. He asks for a measured, long-term approach rather than impulsivity when making decisions. So, our advice for this week moving forward: be of assistance to others. Be grateful for what you have in front of you, and don't be afraid to share that, some of that. Share your knowledge, your resources, whatever. Get ready for the harvest time, and proceed with discernment moving forward. So, as I said here, we have Wormwood for caution. We have the Latin name for it. chicory for sustain, and hollyhock for abundance. And so that is my mini brief review of this brand new oracle deck called the Hedgewitch Botanical Oracle by Siolo Thompson. You may want to get your hands on this deck. Those of you who love wildcrafting, plants, nature, making tinctures, medicines. As I said, the guidebook alone, this is a recipe book. She's got a drink in here that uses Pims. Let me see. Let me pull that back up. This drink, and you garnish it with borage. So it's, see that? Cocktail. Wonderful for the summer. And with that, guys, I am complete, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Take care.